अपडेट और ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा शेयर कीजिएगा साथियों।
better manage the economy with correct intentions, correct policies, and correct decisions. So it's a governance with care, conviction, and confidence. If that stood for the GDP's G, the D stands for people living better, earning better, and having high aspirations for the future. And if I move to the P, the performance, 3 consecutive years of 7% growth. Fastest growing economy in G20, all parts of the country participating in the growth. Price stability and inflation management. Handling the health and economic fallout of COVID. Build out of physical, digital, and social infrastructure. DPI as a factor of production almost for formalization and financial inclusion and growth of the economy. Cleaning up the banking system, GST, one nation, one market and one tax, the IBC. So if you were to look at performance, I've listed some of them. So your GDP, as we look at governance, development, and performance, I have something to say on each of these. So this budget or vote on account is getting presented with the GDP that we want to speak to you about, and in that the fiscal management actually is something which I would like you to spend some time even as you go through the budget, but I'll flag it here. Bringing down the fiscal deficit in spite of very challenging times as per the announced consolidation path and with transparency and prudence. So in fact, I was just remarking to my officers this morning, most of you all had already calculated the figures, RE revenue, RE expenditure, this is what it is, because every month you get the reports coming out. So you don't need to wait till the budget statement. Every month you get the accounts, and so budget process has become absolutely transparent and questionable. If there are any you're there to question, we are here to answer. But we set in the process of keeping everything brought on budget and nothing kept aside from it or underneath it. So with that, the budget deficit, fiscal deficit, 5.8%, which is much lower than the 5.9 which was at the BE. Similarly, for the 24-25 budget, we've given 5.1 as the fiscal deficit, so clearly indicating that we are on track to meet the glide path which was set in 2021-22, and that we are well on track to meet the 4.5% fiscal deficit on or below 4.5 even by FY26. If this is the background with which I'm talking and the presentation of the budget happened, I want to very clearly put some things under the heading, if you want to call it that, Disha Nirdeshak Baatein. You must have heard the Honorable Prime Minister speak before the Parliament session, well before the session commenced. His usual customary remarks. He said the budget will be presented tomorrow and you will have some Disha Nirdeshak Baatein in it. So, what are those Disha Nirdeshak Baatein? There are about 5 of them I highlight. Social justice as effective and necessary governance model. So it's not just a slogan for us, social justice, we'll have to work for Nyay. No, we've shown you that it is a governance model and a successful one at that. So social justice as an effective and governance, necessarily a governance model. Then 4 major caste groups, as we call it, as Prime Minister has emphasized, the poor, the women, the youth, and the Annadatta. So, Disha Nirdeshak Batein, you have the second point. Third, focus on infrastructure. This year, again, massive increases of capex happened in the last 4 years. This year, too, there is 11% increase, resulting in a very recallable number, 11 lakhs, 11,111 lakh, 11 lakh, 11,111 crores. So continuing the trend of the last 4 years, where capital expenditure has been the route, one for revival earlier from COVID, and now for sustained growth towards Amritkal, towards the Viksit Bharat goal. Fourth is the using of technology as a huge opportunity. DPI as almost a new factor of production. So it is actually bringing in the value addition to the economy. It is facilitating every sector to bring in the value addition which is so required and improves on our productivity. And the last Disha Nirdeshak Batein is high-powered committee for extensive consideration of challenges arising from population growth and demographic challenges. So if these are Disha Nirdeshak Batein, what were the major announcements? I'll recall very quickly 12 of them. I'm not spending any time except for reading out what those 12 are. 2 crore more homes under the PM Awas Yojana. We already completed nearly the 3 crore. Housing for middle class. Rooftop solar for at least 300 units of power generation every month, which will be Muft Bijli for the households. There will be some assistance and some kind of a funding which will be extended. So you're generating renewable energy, providing the renewable energy generators the free that which they would want to use, and over and above that, the surplus that they produce can be used for selling and earning money out of it. Enhancement of target for Lakpati Didi from 2 crore women to 3 crore women. Preparing and empowering the MSMEs to grow and compete globally. Aligning regulatory environment for them. The sixth is making sure that the eastern region, and when I say eastern region, I'm not talking about northeast. Northeast will get the attention that they've been getting all the while. They will still continue to get it, and they will be on the top of our priority. But when I say the eastern region, I'm talking about Bihar, Jharkhand, Chhattisgarh, and Orissa, making sure that they'll become the engines of growth for the new Amritkal India that we are trying to use as a bridge towards leading to Viksit Bharat 2047. And Eastern India, I've missed out on West Bengal, please add it. Bihar, Jharkhand, Orissa, Chhattisgarh, and West Bengal. Next generation reforms will be carried on, building consensus with states and stakeholders for reform, perform, transform. 3 major corridors, which are programs for railways, for logistics efficiency, and they have been explained. The important point that I want to highlight there is to make sure for Viksit Bharat, you just don't need to build for better passenger convenience, you need to build for better passenger convenience. You need to give them safety. You need to shorten the traveling time for them. So one of the corridor is going to give emphasis for high density routes where passengers traffic is very high. We need to bring efficiencies and better safety in those areas. But for Viksit Bharat, passengers need to move as they wish. But equally, materials, raw materials, building goods, cement, rare earths, minerals, we need them to move efficiently as well. So the corridor will take care of that as well. So the synergy between movement of people and movement of goods is what is being highlighted in the 3 corridors that we're talking about. Ninth announcement, that is urbanization, looking at Metro and Namo Bharat. One of the railway related things which I missed out on telling you, 40,000 bogies are going to be improved in the standards with which they can be effective rolling stock, and also give the convenience in the passenger experience inside the bogies as well. So 40,000 coaches are going to be brought up to the level of Vande Bharat standards. Metro and Namo Bharat I did mention, so that urban transformation through transit-oriented development can happen. The 10th announcement which I draw your attention to is 1 lakh crore corpus for research and innovation by private sector. So that's coming in at the 10th. 11th is boost to tourism, including spiritual tourism. Interest-free loans will be given to states so that they can build on iconic tourist centers. And the 12th one is supporting reforms in state. They are separate from the development of tourism centers, and therefore I want you all to have the clarity that help to centers are supporting reforms in state is slightly different from boost to tourism. There will be a white paper on economic performance of the last 10 years compared with the previous 10 years. The 12th announcement is so much a statement that I would like to make, which is what I made in the budget speech as well. Government has got the trust and the confidence and the blessings of the people based on its exemplary track record of GDP, as I said, governance, development, and performance, effective delivery, and also on Jan Kalyan. So highlighted points have been realized as goals of Viksit Bharat till now, and they are the realizable goals also continuing to be so, because what we want to underline is we govern with good intentions, true dedication,